Oh, I have I have something to say at the start of this episode of Wild Cool Robot.
The episode's already started.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying it. I just wanted to say that, we've been shitting on this show's portrayal of motherhood as like a compulsory part of femininity, and I don't want to apologize because, we really didn't have the perspective of what it is like to have a child, and well, that's changed for me because this week I have a son, I have a boy, and now I would do anything for my child, son, boy. And actually, Fa was right. It's exactly like that, and I want to apologize.
Who's your, this comes as a bit of a shock to me, Sarah. Who's your child, son, boy? Why haven't we been introduced?
Well, my son, boy, his name is Hangguang Juice, and he lives in a bucket under a desk in my kitchen, and every day I feed him and I stir him and I love him and I would die for him. Thank you, Colin, for the recipe to rice wine.
Yes, I'm glad it's going well for you.
I have a child now.
Much like last week when we sort of completed our emotional arcs in Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm glad that you also completed another arc of yours, Sarah, and that you finally understand Gundam.
Yeah, I finally understand. I've become mother. I've become mother.
Yeah, it's crazy that becoming Gundam didn't make you understand Gundam. Homebrewing did. But
exactly.
I don't know. I think you could definitely you can lovingly dote on your son and still get into a robot to protect the vessel in which your son is fermenting in. I think those things are not mutually exclusive.
Right now, it's not new type soup; it's new type Hangguan juice.
Yeah.
As long as it's some sort of special liquid is all you really need.
Yeah.
I mean, much like kind of, Rosammy's vibes, it is fermenting nicely.
Oh my god. Fucking straight up curdled. Who wants to say it this week?
Oppa Gundam style.
Thank you, Colin. Welcome to Wow Cool Robot. It's fine this week, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my pronouns are she and they.
I'm Colin, my pronouns are they and them.
I'm Max, my pronouns are he and him. I don't know.
Great.
It's fine this week.
This is like an aggressively wow cool robot of a week.
Very, very, very cool robot, I'll say.
Yeah. It's like there's, some stuff definitely happens. We see some wow cool robots. We see some other wow cool technology. But I kind of walk out of these 3 episodes like literally not feeling anything, which kind of sucks.
Yeah. So yesterday I had a PowerPoint party with my girlfriend and some of her friends from college, and my presentation was on why the Star Wars prequels are objectively better movies than the Star Wars sequels.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of one of the main cruxes of my argument was that the sequels are just like, we did the same exact thing all over again. And that's just no good. Like there's some good things there, but it's very much like this where it's like, they really just like rehashed the plot of like 10 episodes ago.
Yeah, like the same thing happened in the first episode we watched, and the second episode we watched, and arguably the third episode we watched.
It just keeps happening. I warned you about Gundam.
It just keeps happening. Hey, what if here's a concept. What if, you're a robot pilot and you see a girl and you're like, wow, cool girl, and you're like, I love the girl, and then suddenly girl becomes enemy and you have to fight girl and it's very distressing for you. What if we just did that 3 times in a row, 4 times in a row,
Sarah,
5 times in a row?
Sarah, I advise you to get under some shelter because it looks like it's raining Emmys. Please be safe out there in this harsh weather.
Yeah. I mean, we would have, after these 3 episodes, we have, we figured that earlier, like 8 left.
8 left.
You think we can fit one
8 more girls
with a girl in it? One more weird psychic girl. You think we can fit one more in, or bring back one of the old ones? Who knows?
Slaps roof of anime. This baby can fit 2 girl arcs in it.
Well,
listen. I think user aim it low. We could get way many more girls in this bad boy.
I think technically we're at 6 psychic new type girl arcs, and 4 of those are 2 of the same girls.
It just keeps happening.
That is pretty efficient use of girls. Not to keep hanging on the same bit, but it is pretty efficient.
Girl power?
It's very efficient. Not effective, but it's efficient. There's a difference there.
Yeah. They're recycling. It's all about sustainability.
Exactly. That's what we're about here at Wellcool Robot Industries.
Yeah.
Not effective use of girl power, but sustainable use of girl
damn
power.
it, do we crank it out good? So Colin, would you like to introduce us to our first episode this week?
Yeah, crank it out good, Colin.
Yeah. God. We're at episode 40.
Mm-hmm.
Activation of grips.
Uh-oh.
So, Grips 2 is done soaking in water. It's ready to be activated. It's nearly moved into position where it can draw a line of sight to the moon, and the Argama makes a plan to confirm if it has been completed or not. Rosammy continues to become more and more of a handful as she senses bad vibes from Emma, has recurring headaches, and shows an intense fear of doctors. So Rocco spreads his big nasty vibes and arms all over Reccoa, and then Bass sends Reccoa out with a team to kind of sortie and stop Camille and the Gundam squad from being able to reach Grips 2. There's a big fight. Camille and Reccoa share a heartfelt moment together in space before parting ways, with Reccoa firmly now believing that she cannot go back to the Argama. She is a Titan now. While the Argama decides what to do about Reccoa's defection and Rosammy's past, Bask orders a test firing with Grips 2, which misses the Argama and destroys an entire space colony.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Normal
fucking show.
What's one more dead colony, you know?
You just fucking add it to the pile. Rosammy gives me just I am made so uncomfortable with everything she does. It's very distressing to sort of see this adult woman being completely infantilized, just nonstop. I don't much care for it, I think.
It's definitely there is so much about the way that Rosammy's depicted that feels gross because of the way that we know how anime turns out.
Yeah,
it's just the last time that I did a big Zeta Gundam rewatch was around when Oremo, the big sister fucking anime, was finishing, and just having that just out there in the ether on Twitter while I was watching this arc just made me want to throw up constantly. But there's also something really, really weird about it in that it's also it doesn't feel like sexualized horny time all the time. I don't think that Gundam really gets to that until Double Zeta, which is also regrettable, but it's just weird. It's so weird to watch.
I'm making the mood grimace face right now. Just oh.
Yeah, it's just my whole notes for basically all these episodes is just every 3 lines it says, oh, and also Rosammy is here, because she's she's simply here, she is simply clinging to Camille. That is it. It never goes kind of beyond that.
It never goes beyond that, which makes what happens later in these episodes all the weirder.
Yeah.
Because as it is now, she's basically a shadow. She's just sort of hanging there because you're supposed to be taking her around and you don't really want her to be there, and she feels weird about being there, but it's still just just exceedingly uncomfortable. It's and also Rosammy.
Yeah, it's almost like the episodes are scared that you'll forget about Rosammy.
I won't. She's cool enough on her own, you know?
Yeah.
Ugh.
It does. Yeah, it's definitely we're supposed to have emotional investment at this point because this is, it is happening again. This is just a continuation of both Rosammy's original appearance and also both of Four's previous appearances.
Right.
But it's just kind of they don't do anything with it except really play up how how the Titans have fucked around with her brain and how childlike she acts because of it, and that's about it. And we get some lore dumps as the here and there, but I just this whole arc just feels like it needed something else going on, and I think that something else was Reccoa getting more screen time, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, remember Reccoa? I don't.
But speaking of they're trying to get you to have emotional. The thing is, I am emotionally invested in Rosammy. I feel for her. I'm very concerned about her. And I'm, it is very kind of heart-wrenching that things keep happening and girl keeps being there, and you got there, you did it. You didn't have to kind of go that far. You could have calmed the fuck down a bit with it and still done the same thing, and done a load of other good things. Yeah, let's just get into it, shall we?
Yeah, like this is all to say the episode starts. She's acting like a kid, just playing with Kumin Shinta, and like Emma just gets these really weird, like new type-ish vibes from her. Is Emma new type? Do we know this yet? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's safe to assume that Emma's new type.
Yeah.
It's pretty much everybody but Bright and Henkin are. When it comes down to it, if you're in space for long enough, then yeah, you just have new type vibes, and like maybe like. I think it's clear that Emma's aren't super strong, but yeah, like she's in the sherbet out here. It's blue sherbet time. It's Gatorade season.
Yummy, tastes like blue.
Yeah, because I think as of episode 40, Rosammy has like just arrived on the Argama, and everyone's just kind of like, who is this? And you know, she's all like, oh, my brother, my brother, my brother, my brother, my brother, my brother, and me. And yeah, Emma just kind of looks at her and is like, yeah, we should like arrest her, take her to the detention facility. All right, cool, bye.
My brother,
okay.
my brother, man, Rosammy.
Oh my god. So if Camille is in Rosammy's mind, if Camille is her older brother, and they both had a youngest brother, that means that Rosammy is Travis.
I certainly don't care for her.
The thing is, I think that Shinta and Kum take the place of Griffin in these episodes because they do fun antics. They're having a good time.
They play in the space they've created.
Yeah,
exactly.
They play in the space.
You've cracked it.
They say, Rosammy, play with me in this space.
Yeah, they like take her to the detention facility. Rosammy's like afraid that Emma's gonna run off with Camille.
Yeah.
As Fa is sort of taking her there, we cut over to Bright and Quattro and everyone. I'm sorry, Bright and Char and everyone else. I did not call him Quattro. I do not recognize that name.
Oh, he's Quattro in my notes because he's wearing the outfit.
He is wearing the sunglasses.
Yeah, but he proved himself to be a clown on national television, so that's what's important here. But they're basically talking about grips. They're like, yeah, it's probably a laser emitter. We don't know. It's probably going to shoot the moon. We don't know. We should probably check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Rosammy like walks in them and like she just won't let go of the bit and is like, oh, I'm an infantilized female character and I didn't know what was going on and I've walked in here by accident.
She opens the door and says, would anyone like to play along at home?
Yeah. It is okay. It's really funny to me that it's like, oops, I got lost on my way to fucking space prison cell. I was supposed to go to Argama jail, but I got lost and now I'm on the bridge.
It's Rosammy, yeah. Why? I know why,
okay,
but
Rosammy.
Like, I'm asking the writers why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Fa quickly gets her out of there. And Quattro's immediately like, we should have her examined because I think she's a cyber new type.
Okay, no, but is this the part where Camille can just straight up hear Quattro's thoughts now?
Yes,
apparently?
yes. This is the part where Camille's like, yeah, Char said that Rosammy is a cyber new type. And he's like, I did not say that. And everyone's
No,
like,
I didn't.
What the fuck? Yeah, I think Camille is starting to go a little sicko mode in his own mind right now.
Oh, yeah,
He's
I completely
a little
missed that.
Like, in these episodes, he really is kind of just on another plane of existence.
He's drank, like, 4 gallons of soup.
He's a little too
He, like,
juiced
lives
up.
in the soup
He
now.
is sloshing around.
Yeah. He's simply leaking.
He's simply leaking out. In the hallway, as this happens, like, Rosammy gets a really big new type headache. Specifically, like, you know, a cyber new type headache. We've seen him before. And she's like, grabs Fa, and she's like, tell me about you and my brother. And I guess, like, it seems to me that this is some sort of a reaction, maybe like her subconsciously trying to like keep herself in the infantilized space rather than having to go to like murder kill mode.
Or just like trying to like cling to these like false memories that she has as like a point of stability. Yeah.
Because she's like, oh, Fa, please, like, reassure my false memories that Camille is my brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is this when we cut over to the bad Paptimus
Unfortunately, it is.
Well, it's okay because it starts off with just some big ass brass, and I do love to hear it.
Yes. We get another, like, just like the OST is just truly banging in these episodes. Yeah. Late Zeta soundtracks are so good. It's a shame they're so hard to find.
Yeah. Sadly, Sirocco and Rekko are hanging out in the hangar looking at mobile suits, and this is just an awful time. Do not love to see it.
Rekua, I'm so glad you came out to hang on the, I guess, did Papnos go back to the Dagosigear? I thought he went to his Jupitris.
Think they're on the Alexandria?
Oh,
No, I think they're...
got the Dagosigear, or is that later?
They're on the Dagosigear. It's just Siroko's given up command of it.
Okay, he hasn't left to go to the Jupitris. Yeah. So he's like, it's so nice of you that you needed to go find a place to rest your soul, and I guess you found a good place. Give me a hug, Rekua.
And definitely absolutely forces this hug.
Sucks.
Yeah.
It is so bad. I love to hate Paptimus. I love that he is just like this. He sucks. He's so awful, and like he's compellingly awful, I'd say.
Yeah. I think the worst part of this scene is just when you see her just like succumb to his vibes.
Yeah.
And then like,
oh god, it's so bad to see.
Yeah. He does have a fun line where he's telling her like, "Oh, Rekua, like, oh, you just haven't met a nice guy like me." And then he says, "These words come straight from my heart. If I lie, you may pierce it."
In the sub, he calls all the men on the Argama not sensitive enough to realize that her heart was hurting. And
he's kind of right.
Yeah, he's not wrong there. Broken clock, right? Twice a day. But he says, "If my feelings turn out to be insincere, you may stab me through my heart, and I will not resist it."
Fucking Hamlet ass bitch.
He's the kind of guy who would be like, "I just want what's best for you, ;"
He does say the fucked up thing of "you had no choice but to play the role of a strong woman," which I don't.
That's not great, Chief.
Yeah,
don't know if I like that particular line, Paptimus.
Fucking log back onto Reddit, Paptimus. Fuck off.
Go back to r/atheism. Go back to MGTOW, Paptimus.
He's been helium pilled.
He does do the only nice thing where he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm leaving. You can take my masala out if you want."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So at the very end, he's like, "I may have hit your Wi-Fi reset button, but also cool robot."
Yeah.
It's crazy that we see him pilot the Masala, twice, and then he just spends the rest of the anime giving it to other people to pilot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look.
I know, it makes sense.
Not to play the hand too early, but he has more important things to pilot.
Yeah. They're currently dredging it up from the bottom of the ocean.
They have to drain it first. So anyway, we cut over and the Argama's beginning. There's really nothing else for this scene, right? That's kind of it.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
We cut over to the Argama, who's launching Hyakushiki, Gundam Mark II, and Zeta to do recon on Grips 2. And I think they sort of notice this over at Titan's Land because Basque sends out the Barzam squadron with Rekua and the Masala.
Yeah, and Basque is like, I just wanna launch Rekua. I just wanna fuck about and see what happens if I launch Rekua.
Basque flips the big sort of plastic cover over this giant red button that just says "fuck around and find out."
He fucks around, he finds out.
I want to know what paper got published in the Federation War Academy between Zeta and 0079 that has every single high-level commander just convinced that the thing that they need to do is pick a pilot at random, put them in a robot, and throw them out regardless of whether it's a good idea.
They want everyone to be the next Amuro Ray. That's what it really boils down to, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not a paper. It's just the Amuro Ray tips.
Man, I was thinking about this earlier. Can you imagine how much more sick these couple of episodes would be if instead of Rosammy they turned fucking Rekua into a cyber newtype? That would whip so hard.
Oh my god, that would be so good.
And that would be even more efficient use of girl, because then we just kind of combine all the shit into one thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Damn, that's what I wish would happen.
Haven't reached peak girl power efficiency.
Nope.
In Zeta Gundam. Not yet. We've got 8 more episodes to go. We might reach
Maybe we'll get there. Who knows? Who knows what Hamon's gonna do?
Hey, gang, get boulders.
Oh, they got the balloons.
Yeah. Oh no, these are actual rocks.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I've been coaxed into a snafu.
Yeah, that's the thing we'll see come up again and again over the next couple of episodes. Is there's just a lot of space debris in this part of space whatever reason.
Yeah, no, you're right. They do mention that. They're they look like they moved a lot of the debris away from the Grips 2 in order to move it so they can fire it at Moom. They make it a point to make note of the space debris before they all fly out.
But yeah, they're just like kind of coasting through space. They're like pushing boulders to hide behind. It's cool and
cute.
fun.
It's cute.
But they're not that completely hidden behind the boulders because like Rekua is out here and she's like feet.
It's like if you see, it's like someone
Foot.
sneaking around. They have a big shrub, like a cartoon in front of them, but then you see their designer Louboutins poking out from the bottom. Then you know something's up.
It's like when you walk into a room and like you just see your pet's legs sticking out from a blanket.
Yeah. Yep.
Because there's a little Zeta leggy and a little Rick Diaz leggy.
And just like a good pet owner, Rekua is like, oh, where could Zeta Gundam be? I don't see them anywhere. Except in a kind of a more angsty way because she's torn up about this.
Right.
But eventually she does decide, she thinks it over. This is her new squad now. This is her new family. And she does inform everybody that she has sighted them. They launch a flare and everybody gets to a fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fight time.
And they're like, they don't want to fight. Ayuk doesn't, because they're like, we're just here for recon. We shouldn't do this whole big thing. I think I said Hyakshiki before, but yeah, it was Apolly and the Rick Diaz instead of that.
Yeah.
And like, at some point in the battle, in Mark II, Emma grabs Rekua, and then she hears her voice, and she's like, not great.
Yeah,
what the
kind
fuck?
of freaks out a bit.
Yeah, because everyone like had thought that Rekua was full on dead until this point, and everyone's like, oh. And then we cut back to the argument, and like Rosammy is just like on the floor of the dock. Why is she allowed out here? Please just, I don't want to say please put this woman in the detention cell, but honestly I think that is best for her because she's out here having very bad time, like because pilots are launching, she's like, oh, piloting, and she's getting like fucking piloting withdrawal symptoms or something. It's a bad time.
Yeah, it's like she can sense the killing intent from the battlefield and like has this like innate deep desire to get into a mobile suit, even though like when battle isn't present, she never talks about mobile suits or anything at all. She's just a kid, which is
and life is a nightmare.
Yeah, there's a there's a lot of layers in there. Rosammy is like a very old moldy lasagna, basically.
Garfield would not partake. Yeah, she's freaking out. The Argama's sending out more suits. We cut back to the fighting where Camille ends up like swinging by, cutting off Masala's arm, and he hears Rekua's voice. And like this, they continue their confrontation. He like sort of pushes her, or she's like flying, and she's like not really paying attention. She like just like slams into a piece of debris.
Okay, I thought that was really funny though.
It was pretty funny. It's just like a comical like bonk.
Yeah.
And it like makes a big dent in the thing, or at least in my head it did.
It was already dented.
Yeah. At which point, like, because they're kind of landed on the space debris, Camille gets out, goes over to talk to her. She gets out as well.
Well, she gets out first, which I think is the important thing, because like she gets out, and that Camille's able to like look at her through the camera and confirm that it's her. He comes to a stop. He gets out, and we get when they stop fighting in space and they get out of the mobile suits to talk to each other is the best fucking Gundam trope in the fucking world. I love it.
Good. This I as much as these episodes were like supremely mediocre, I love this scene so much.
It's just and because like this whole, I'd say these 3 episodes they go kind of sicko mode with the animation.
Oh my god, the budget is so high in these episodes.
Yeah, this is we found the budget. Here it is. Just because like this scene is really intense in space because like, at first Camille is like, whoa, like you're like double triple undercover. Hell yeah, this is amazing spying work. Like that seems to be what he thinks.
Mm-hmm. And then she's like, nah, dude, these colors run, it turns out.
She says a line that I really, really love. You're so kind, it's almost cruel. Yeah. Like Camille wants so badly to believe that she's still doing spy thing, that she's still on their side, and like he can't wrap his head around the fact that she's like, no, actually she's gone over to the other side.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh, you sweet summer child, oh, you little child boy. No.
Yeah, because Camille really doesn't understand like how she could betray them like this, or even like if she wanted to get out of the fighting, like why she couldn't just like retire from being a pilot. And even says I may not probably explicitly referencing that like her feelings for Quattro and the importance he probably puts on her feelings for Quattro. He says, I may not be good enough, but I can at least protect you. Is that not enough? Which is just like really speaks to like the mindset that Camille has grown to have. And like, and before that, he says, why must we meet like this while we're still alive?
Sorry. Is this the line? Because I have this line down where Camille says, why did we have to see each other again like this while we're still alive in this world?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Kind of a buck wild thing to say.
I mean, like, in context of the stuff where he's like, oh, I mean, my ex-girlfriend 4 may be ex in the sense of being dead, but she's definitely still around and I'm going to see her and talk to her again because of new type stuff
She's
that
in
I
the
can
hot
do.
tub.
It definitely feels like on a more mundane level too, like Camille has really taken to heart the kind of like sad sack clown shit that Quattro likes to say.
Yeah.
Of like, you know, how, you know, oh, he's just a soldier, he can't imagine how he could live in a world without war. And it's like everything that Camille is saying like is starting to feel like, even if he doesn't realize it, he is accepted that he is going to die in this war. And or like that his, like, you know, the thing that he's fighting for is either to when the war's done, he's going to retire and be a house husband or whatever, or he's going to die and he's going to go into the new type soup land. Like, one of those two things is going to happen, and that's the only way that he's going to get through this. And it's just...
Yeah, it's like, is he going to be with 5 or 4?
It's not good. I don't like it.
And like, near the end of the conversation, and by the way, this whole conversation is happening as they're, like, tearfully embracing each other, just, like, free-floating in space with their verniers.
Because, like, near the start of the conversation, he just, like, runs at her, like, grabs her, and just, like, yeets them both into space. And they're, like, crying and cuddling and sobbing. And it's
really good.
It's so fucking much. It's so good.
It's and like, near the end, she says, she, like, warns him, like, one day you'll be killed by your own sincerity. Which is another, like, really good line. What a raw line. Oh,
what a fucking Pendragon-ass line. What a
when
fucking
Zeta
Yoshi-ass
hits you,
line.
when Zeta hits you with those, like, emotionally vulnerable, like, tear your heart open and spit in it moments, it's so good.
Yeah. Fucking tear my heart open and spit in it. Yeah.
Maybe those weren't the best choice of words, but I said them, so. And if there's nothing else metaphysical we want to talk about here.
I think the only other thing I do want to underline is because, like, I feel like Rekkawa's arc is really confusing as far as where it's going right now.
Sure is, buddy.
I don't think that they're consistent with it, but I do want to kind of underline that what she's saying here of, you know, oh, Camille, you're going to die from your insincerity, is I think the thing that like Rekkawa is supposed to be conveying here is that, like, you can't just go 100% all in on stuff. And that's the reason that she had to get away from the Argama, is to be in a place doing what she wants to do, but in like a way where she can kind of half-ass it a little bit, because otherwise she's either going to get killed doing it or die fucking up. And I think that's the, you know, the thing that she's trying to tell Camille is that he needs to fucking cool his jets and learn how to, like, I don't know, be a little more ignominious and not put all of himself into it, because he's going to get chewed up and spit out by everybody around him.
I mean, like, is that her telling him shit like this, or is that just, like, the Paptimus soup that lives in her brain saying this shit? Because it does feel like there's a mix of sincerity, but also when she's like, yeah. Like a blend.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of her looking at the way that Quattro treated her and being like, these people don't care about you as much as you're giving them. But then also, like, getting the Paptimus juice of, like, I should be in a subservient role to other people. Like, I should take myself out of the limelight. I think it's both of those things together, and that's why. I mean, surprise, surprise, Rika was a villain now. I don't think she's gonna get a happy ending. We'll see where it goes.
Not.
But
I mean, I do feel like her happy ending is gonna be when Char kills her. Like, and the show's gonna portray it as that, and it's not gonna be a happy ending, and I'm gonna be mad about it.
I'm sure we'll be able to burn that bridge when we get there.
The cocktail shaker of Rekkawa Lance.
I think, you know, not to spoil anything, but just to peek past the curtain for a little bit, I think there are definitely things to be very mad about in the way that Rekkawa's storyline ends. I don't think that's one of them, though.
I'm once again making the mood grimace face.
Forever serially disappointed in the things the show does. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what's the worst thing that can happen? Okay, let's assume that's going to happen. And then if it doesn't happen, I'll be happy about it.
Why do you think I'd call the show Wow Cool Robot, Sarah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. She's got the masala. There's nothing
if nothing
bad about
else,
this
you can look at
here.
the cool robots and say,
If
wow.
nothing else.
It is tremendously fucked up that they never made they never gave a female animation director a shot at doing like a Rekkoa prequel or like an Emma prequel. Like that would have ruled so fucking hard. But here we are.
Yeah. I just fucking...
Ugh.
Yeah, that's all I got for that scene with the scene of the episode, really.
It's like sort of the emotional peak of it.
They get back to the argument. Camille is like pretending to be having a normal one, but Emma is like, bitch, I know you fucking saw Rekkoa. Rosammy's still here.
Yeah, important to note that like when Rekkoa leaves, she tells Camille that Grips is completed, so they gotta like get out of here, Chief. Like, so he knows now, and he has to be like he has to get over himself and tell people that.
That there felt like the kind of the part of Rekkoa that is still Rekkoa being like, oh, here is something that I can give you as like the Rekkoa that is like a intelligence gathering person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's nice enough for her to do that.
Thanks, Rekkoa.
Thanks, I guess.
But yeah, the next sort of scene that's interesting to me is they're in like Bright's office.
Yeah, and
they're kind of talking to Camille. They talk to Emma about like that. Everyone looks at Emma like, oh, you defected from the Titans to us. And stuff.
Yeah. And like, she's like, it's not the same. Camille has a raw line in here, and where did I write it down? Oh, is everything justified when acting according to with your ideology? Like really like laying into Emma of like, are we just gonna, and to be clear, I'm siding with Emma here. Rekkoa is a fascist now and is working for Space Dracula. So like, if you catch her in the streets and you're gonna kill her, like that's what war is. That's what this conflict is. But also like I understand where Camille is coming from in that like Emma does not appear to have any remorse whatsoever about saying that. Like Emma's like fucking catch me out here. Like I will kill her.
Emma's being the adult in the room here.
Yeah. And the other thing that happens here is that like Bright is like, yeah, we're gonna take the info that Rekkoa passed on, but we're also like gonna cover up the fact that she's still alive and defected to the Titans. At which Camille is like really, really mad about this. Because they're just, I don't know, is it again like Camille just being like fucking adults lying about shit all the time? Yeah,
I mean that's I think that ties into the whole sincerity line from the last scene of just like Camille wants them to put everything out there. That's why he wanted Char to finally come out of Char, like all of the stuff. And I definitely think there's an undercurrent of like Bright is doing this to protect Camille so that people aren't like, why didn't Camille kill her?
Yeah.
And also, I mean, Bright's watched anime before. Yeah.
That's exactly. Right, he read the script.
Yeah. He knows there's a chance to save her. It's fine.
Yeah. As Camille runs out in a huff, he sees Fa in the hallway, and he's like, "You're the only one with the face of a child, Fa."
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I get what he's saying, but he doesn't need to say it.
He just, I think in the dub, he says like heart of a child. He says something slightly different, but it is still just really weird. Like he could have just been like, "Oh, hey, Fa, you're a real one," and then given her a tender hug. But why do you have to say the child line, Camille?
Yeah.
At which, of course, fucking like Rosammy interrupts them. Probably.
Oh God, just like screaming, afraid of the doctor. I like Dr. Hassan. He does something kind of gross in the third episode, but like for the most part, until then, he's just like a funny guy who's like overworked and just like is really tired of things.
Yeah,
he's please let me do my job.
The thing about the thing in the third episode, and we could talk about it when it comes up. I don't think it's supposed to be him being gross. I think it's them making a really gross joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, because he does make a little face at the end. Okay, all right, I'll buy that.
Yeah,
Rosammy's like really afraid of the doctor. She's afraid he's gonna cut her open or whatever.
Yeah,
and the doctor sort of like lets on to Camille that he suspects she might also be a cyber new type. Like, people are starting to pick up on maybe something's deeply fucked up with Rosammy that no one can possibly understand. Who could say?
Yeah, I mean, like, her behavior is completely normal, so the only way to kind of figure out that she's fucked up, considering that she's doing completely normal behavior all episodes, is to cut her open. Yeah. God.
Stupid show.
I mean, why would, it's totally normal to have, like, a fear of doctors, and it's certainly not because, you're a cyber new type that has probably gone through, like, a tons of invasive, surgeries and whatever, or had your body pumped full of juice, or had been put in the Clockwork Orange machine for like 3 days straight or whatever.
I am looking away.
I'm just thinking about it, and when there's like a 3-year-old child has like a blankie or like a toy that, like, if they don't have that, oh, thanks, Craig.
Fucking
whatever. I'm
why
still
is
recording.
this happening for the last like 3 weeks? Anyway, yeah, keep going.
But yeah, when like a kid has like a special blankie, and if they don't have the special blankie, they lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Camille is Rosammy's special blankie.
Yeah.
And she doesn't like if she's not physically in contact with him at all times, she just fucking loses it. That's what these episodes are.
Yep, pretty much.
Anyway, Grips is a giant fucking fleshlight now.
Anyway, I'm a firing my laser.
We do get a fun scene of Bright and Emma, like, overhearing this whole thing and being like, yeah, she's definitely a spy. Then we go over to Grips too. Bask is like, oh, hey, the Argama's here. Let's do a test fire. We can do
it, baby.
Yeah, we can do a test fire. Let's make sure we don't hit Colony 13. That's the only one we care about not hitting.
The one
don't
rule.
hit the colony, fire the laser, but just make sure you don't hit the colony.
Well, it's specifically, they say, he says, make sure that you, that Colony 13 isn't in your line of sights, with the assumption that the rest of Side 2 is. And I think that's just because Bass doesn't want to toast Minerva yet. So yeah.
I thought we were having a bit of an Always Sunny one in this episode. Because, they do hit Colony 18 instead, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's fine.
It's fine. They fire it at like 40% power, which is enough to like straight up pierce a hole, like I think they said 200 meters wide through the colony. Yeah. And well,
because
beans.
It goes through one of the mirrors and the glass section through the colony, and then out like the hard structural city section on the other side.
Yeah. And then Camille feels a great disturbance in the forest, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced.
Yeah, and he's sucked back into the Gatorade. It's very bad. Camille's too deep in the soup.
Camille is like forcibly, like, as if a siren pulled him down, dragged down into the soup from this.
Yeah. Camille's on an all liquid diet right now.
Literally. And like at the end of the episode, because like he can feel all this shit, that he says the line of, and there's some other things that happen which we can talk about, but like at the end of this episode, when Camille is just having a one, feeling all this shit, he says the line of, I'm only a human being, I'm not powerful enough to stop it alone.
Yeah, that's
bitch, you know you're in a mech anime, right?
You have friends and a robot, Camille. You don't have to do it alone.
Yeah, but
just feel like the line was sort of considering the nature of this. It's fine.
This is the problem when you're directly trained by Char Aznabel and everyone constantly compares you to Amuro Ray. Is one, you do think you are the special boy, and two, you think the only way that you'll win is by sacrificing yourself and dying.
Right.
And it's
understandable.
He can't even conceive of the fact that, that he's going to have to work together with everybody, and it's going to be a big deal, but like the whole Argama is going to go after this thing. But this poor boy is too drunk on the juice.
Yummy. Yeah, and like Bright orders the Argama to retreat, and like the only other like really big scene near the end of this is like Rekua is just like, she's sort of constantly juggling with the remorse of abandoning everyone, and like she basically is like resolute in like, realizing to herself that she can't return to Aeug anymore. Like she's stuck here. She has to do Titan stuff now.
Oh man, this is, I wish we had more Rekua in these episodes, because like even just this scene where like when Bask is planning this, like, yeah, let's do a test fire against the Argama, and she requests to leave, and Bask specifically tells her no, with the subtext being like, I'm gonna make you watch us toast your old
He's like,
ship.
you have to look directly at it.
Yeah, and it's like, and she she lasts all the way through, asks to be dismissed and just leaves afterwards while no one's paying attention, and makes it like 3 steps down the hallway before she has a fucking breakdown about it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's episode though.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me that juice,
It's
Colin.
fine.
Oh, for episode 41.
Episode 41, Awakening. So, this episode kind of focuses around the fact that Rosammy just needs a doctor's checkup. They need to know what the fuck is going on there. And she's afraid of the doctor. She really doesn't want to have a checkup. But, Camille persuades her eventually. There's some titty hijinks. They do eventually, near the end of the episode, find some fucking cyber new type shit in her blood. But oops, by that point, she's already escaped in a Nemo. Meanwhile, all this is happening. The kind of other half of the plot is that Rekkawa is doing war crimes, like the serious war crimes. The G3 Dangar stuff is back, and it's specifically Rekkawa's mission to go and fill up Colony 21 with this stuff. Kill everyone in it. Yeah, we love it. She obviously feels some things concerning this. Everyone, the argument launches to go and stop this, except for Char, because Char is dealing with all of Rosammy's hijinks, not the titty hijinks, different hijinks, we'll get to it. And kind of because of this and some other stuff, the gang are unable to stop Rekkawa's war crimes, and Rekkawa does the war crime. Camille confronts her, he goes sicko mode, everything is happening at once, including that Rosammy is here in the Nemo. Char is chasing her. There are many emotionally tense standoffs. Camille and Rosammy end up inside the kind of dead, devastated colony. Camille again goes kind of sicko mode for the 15th time in this episode, and seeing this unlocks Rosammy's memory Zeta stuff, and she turns on him. Shit goes down. Rosammy turns out to be Lieutenant Rosammy Abadam once again, and she ends up escaping with Rekkawa, and they both go back to their Dogos gear, leaving Camille and Char just kind of episode happened.
Lieutenant Rosammy Biden.
Nothing but respect for my
Hashtag girl boss.
hashtag girl.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, purposing all of this, the animation here is so good. Oh my god, when Camille goes sicko mode, it's like watching an entirely different show.
Yeah.
Just absolutely delightful.
Specifically, it's like watching the moments in Ace Attorney when Phoenix and Edgeworth kind of get to their climactic point, and there's all the lines behind them and it's all cool. Mm-hmm. It's like that.
It's like that. Just like that.
Camille says objection.
Just like a sexual attorney.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like a sexual attorney.
But yeah, we start out with Fa and Camille hanging out in an elevator together.
Which something important's going to happen if they're doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's claims to be okay about Rekkawa, clearly isn't, and because he leans his head up against the elevator, and his hair moves for the first time ever. I'm like, whoa, animation! What?
Yeah.
He looks like he has emo bangs for a hot second.
Yeah,
he does, because he's emo.
He doesn't just have a Mark Hamill helmet on.
Yeah. They're. Yeah, because Fa is so, homie, are you gonna be able to fight Rekkawa? And he's like, no.
Yeah, I'm baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they got a phone call in the lift from the two kids. It's so good.
Yeah, Coon calls them on the fucking intercom to say the doctor's gonna dissect Rosammy.
It's funny.
Specifically, he says chop her up.
Yeah.
Or chop up Rosammy. Mm-hmm. And it cuts over to the kids, and they're on each other's shoulders to reach the phone, and it's so good.
It's
I love
really
these
cute.
children.
They're really good, these episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People who don't like the kids in Gundam need to fuck them.
Are wrong.
It's like the same reason people complain about the human characters in Godzilla movies. It's they need to be there. There's a reason that they're there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that the big Godzillas can take care of them and love them.
Exactly.
I've never seen a Godzilla movie. I'm going to assume that's what happens. Great, amazing.
So they go down to the doctor's office, and Rosammy's freaking out. She's not having a good one, and Camille basically like plays into all this, and he's like, well, you can only stay here with me if you have a checkup. And like he's able to basically convince her that, yeah, going to the doctor is fine. You're gonna be good.
So like the way that Camille talks to Rosammy in this scene is exactly like the way that I would talk to a cat that I found under my car.
Yeah.
That was like really scared of me, that I just needed the
Absolutely.
cat to get out from under my car. So I'm like, come on, baby, it's okay, it's okay.
He gets down to her level to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
He says pss, 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 to Rosammy.
They even like animate it as if like it's a low angle shot up at Camille and he's like kneeling over like, oh, sport, you doing okay? Like,
And like, yeah, it's fucking sweet, I guess, but mostly it's just very patronizing.
yeah.
And yeah, like actually, Rosammy's arc is kind of like they just adopted a new like pet cat.
Yeah.
Doesn't really treat her like a person, especially not since like 30 seconds later she starts getting her titties out.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. She like, you know, he has the kids, and the kids like start like they want to get the doctor's appointment too because they're convinced so well by Camille.
Yeah. Well, because also they help convince Rosammy by saying like, oh yeah, whenever we get a checkup, the doctor gives us a candy.
Yeah, do it for the candy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rosammy, don't you want candy?
Do you want candy? And that works. And like, yeah, she turns to like say bye. She's like, will you come get me later? And like, she still has her titty out. And Camille's like, yeah, I'll sure, whatever. And like, Foss smacks him on the head, which is it's a cute little scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not a good titty to see though. Not in this.
I mean,
context.
it's relatively normal because like she is in the middle of her checkup and like, why is Camille still here? Honestly,
Yeah.
Exactly.
And this is like definitely like nothing about this feels sexualized.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
is nice to see in an anime for once, but like it's definitely, you know, it's definitely funny sex joke that, you know, oh, Camille look at titty, well his girlfriend stand next to him and she slap him, which is kind of like, it's fucking I don't know. I wish this arc was just written completely different. I do not like it. I don't like watching it.
Yeah,
It sure is something.
it sure is a titty.
Yep.
Yeah, we cut over to like Basque is like, hey, Rekoa, go do a war crime, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prove your loyalty to Titans by injecting 3G Corona into everyone in this colony.
Yeah. He does immediately punch her the minute she like questions
Oh my
the
God, it's
ethicality of it.
awful.
Yeah.
It's like slapping is one thing, but straight up like sucker punching someone in the face is like, gee, okay, Eggman, calm down. You've had enough. It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
bad.
He also assures her that this is fine to do because the Titans aren't a group of killers, and tells her to not forget that they're wishing for peace to arrive as soon as possible. Like
Yeah. I'm making Jim off his face right now.
this man is chugging his own farts constantly. Like,
Yeah. Oh God, he sucks. Basque is awful. I can't wait till he gets his head ripped off or something.
Yeah. And like, yeah, we kind of cut between this, like Rekoa does head out, but we also cut back to like the Argama doc. Quattro is here, or actually I would say Shar is here because he's acting weird, suspicious. And then like, so I can't actually remember what exactly happens in the scene, but Camille leaves to go up to the doctors to see how Rosammy is going on, because you know that cat that you dragged out from under your car and put in an ice box, you want to go check up on it occasionally, see if
just
it's
leave it
dry
there.
yet.
yeah, you're technically like its responsible owner until you can, you know, get it someplace else or find its original caretaker or whatever.
But he goes up, and this is where the real titty hijinks of the episode start.
Oh yeah, Rosammy is like fully tits out, running all over the doctor's office, like with candy. She's like, "Oh, Camille, you want some candy?" And she runs over, grabs the candy, tries to put the candy in his mouth. She's just acting like a fool.
The fucking sound she makes when because she's like, "Oh, do you want to lick it?" And he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And she just like sticks the candy in her mouth, and she goes like, "Claire." It's the funniest fucking sound I've ever heard.
Really good.
She does cacuing. But yeah, it's just like she clearly doesn't realize that like she should be like not having her titties out. She doesn't realize that like this is making everyone uncomfortable, and stuff like that. And it's just because she's just there with her titties out. Camilla's like, I have to leave and go pilot my Zeta Gundam. And
It's like the only scene that I think really sells because like the thing that like this whole arc kind of like hinges on is exactly how young you're supposed to take Rosamia's like mind as being. And like, you know, when it first started and it was just kind of like, okay, cool, you know, mentally she's probably like just the same age as Camille and just acting like a younger sister. Like but like this scene really sells her as having like, you know, like the mind of an actual child right now, which I think is the only way that I think this kind of, the way that things play out is the only way that it kind of works for like selling everything. And I wish that, but you know, also like that also leans heavier into like infantilizing her, and it's just, God, this arc fucking sucks. It blows.
It's bad. Hey, how old do you think Rosammy is? How old do you think she is?
Like early 20s.
I was gonna say, yeah.
17 years old.
Okay.
Oh.
Thanks.
Okay.
I'm starting to think Gundam might be a bad show, actually.
Well, because like they try to really like they sell her as being older than Camille.
I thought she was
the
like
same age,
late
though.
20s, you know?
Yeah.
I thought she was like almost 30 or something.
Yeah, like
I mean, I thought she was like 21 or something, like
or
you
like
know, a few
25
years older.
tops, like
than Camille.
No, she's a fucking teen. This show sucks. This arc is doo-doo ass.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah,
So-
whatever. Who cares?
I'm moving on. Fuck it. Like, because Camille's uncomfortable. He's like, I am going to go launch in my Zeta Gundam now. And Rosammy kind of has a little one where she's like, Zeta Gundam. But like, doesn't really progress past that. The doctor is like, don't worry, she's very healthy. We're just going to do like a quick check for cyber new type shit in her blood and make sure that she hasn't been hypnotized.
Yeah.
Like,
also, he does finally tell her to get dressed.
Yeah.
Please put a shirt on, Rosammy.
And yeah, this scene is where I'm yelling at the screen, like, why isn't that the first thing you should have done? Have you seen this,
you're
girl?
a doctor.
You are a doctor. Like, sure, she's healthy, but please, we have priorities.
Important. Exactly. That's about it for this part, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, we cut over to Rekua and her boys flying out. We see the gas. Unfortunately, in this specific scene, the gas does say danger on it, not Dangar.
Oh, really?
In this one, I checked to make sure.
Okay, it says Dangar later,
it's
right?
this one clip. All of the other clips of the gas are like say Dangar or are reused from the previous gas episode.
Yeah, so you know, it's stopped clock. They got it. They spelled it right once or twice this episode.
A stopped clock is dangerous twice a day.
Yeah. And like they're flying, and like one of the Hyzaks doesn't really have a good handle on it, so they sort of like fly out of formation and accidentally trip these, like, basically the colony has this like whole sort of like matrix of like tripwires essentially.
Yeah.
And they trip the security.
It's got Mission Impossible lasers in space, right?
In space.
It's cool.
It's phasers.
And Rekua's got a cool Star Wars like visor thing that lets her like see the infrared. It's cool. It's fun.
It's cool. And they trip it, and like you know, everyone's alerted to their presence now. And Rekua's like almost she's extremely relieved that they tripped it, because he's like, oh, I hope AU shows up to stop me so I don't have to go along doing this.
Yeah, like the read I got in the scene is that the implication is that this happened kind of half on purpose. Or she was like, oh yeah, like, because she is so grateful that this happened, it sort of seems like subconsciously she made this happen so that the Argama would come and stop her doing war crimes. I don't know.
I mean, I think that it was a bunch of just Hyzaks separate from her that were carrying one of them.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It could also be my brain is so desperate to believe that Rekua has any kind of agency.
Yeah. Death of the author, it's our show now.
Yep. Rekua, she did it on purpose. Hell yeah. Go
Good for
Rekua.
her. Hashtag girl boss.
Nothing but respect for my Rekua.
Yeah. So, stupid show.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Back to the Argama, because they saw this stuff happen in that scene.
Yeah.
The laser. They saw the laser. They saw whatever. It's time to launch.
It's time to launch.
Busy.
Meanwhile, Rosammy's hanging out in the mess hall with Shinta and Coom, and Shinta tells her how cool it is to watch Camille take off in the Zeta Gundam because it's a cool action toy to him. she tries to impress them by telling them that she knows how to pilot mobile suits. And they all agree that she should go get a mobile suit and go out and pilot it. And it's okay that to do it despite the fact that Fa and Camille told her to stay here, because if she can impress Camille by saving him in a mobile suit, then everybody will love her even more.
Mm-hmm.
So this, like, she's, like, sitting there with, like, her head in her hands because the launch signal is giving her bad head feeling. And just, like, her hair clutched in her hand is just, it's so fucking well drawn. Oh my god.
It looks like real hair.
Oh, yeah, no, her hair is always fucking amazing.
It just, the drip on this hair, this animation, yes.
Yes.
But the part about how... You remember when Shinta and Kum, like, hijacked a mobile suit to go pilot because they're just doing that again. But now there's 3 children because, you know, Rosammy's one of the children we've established.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically they're gonna go help in the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Hassan calls Quattro, who's like getting ready to launch because, Rosammy's drug test came back and she is doped to hell and back, it turns out.
Yeah. Oh, she got all sorts of bad stuff up in her. Not great.
Yeah, and, like, this is, as Char is, like, literally about to launch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead, Quattro hops out to go find her, and Bright gets mad, and tells Camille to take off and stop Rekawa. Or I guess he gets mad later. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Like he sends out Emma to lead the mobile suit squadron instead of Char, and Camille takes note of that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Emma shouldn't be leading this. Well, he didn't say Emma shouldn't be leading it, but he's surprised that Emma's leading it instead of Char.
I mean, he probably says it in his fucking brain mind.
Yeah, who knows? He hates women, because everyone hates women in this stupid show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, meanwhile, Rekka was out there with the 3G, like, oh no, we're going to succeed at our war crime. Help.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't help but just shoot all of these Nemos from the Colony Defense Force. Oh no, I've killed all of them. Oh no, oh no.
Somebody stop me.
And as this happens, like, we cut to the hangar, and the kids hatch a plan. They, like, float out, and they're like, we're gonna pilot the suit, and they distract Hassan enough for Rosammy to float up into a Nemo and jack it while Char's trying to stop her, like, firing at it.
Yeah.
Fucking, like, the energy this has is, like, the same energy that, like, one of my favorite episodes of 0079 has, where the kids are in Jaburu and they're defusing the bombs, and it's like, oh yeah, we're kids in this adult space, and we have to, like... And it's just, like, it's, like, the tone of the writing is, like, it's, like, fun hijinks, but the thing is, it's fucked up because, like, Char is here and he is literally trying to kill her as she's getting in the Nemo because things are fucked up because of cyber new type bullshit.
Yeah.
And, like, they, as she launches and as Char launches, Kum calls Char, and she's like, I will correct you if you get in her way of helping Camille, which is like,
oh my god.
It's half comedic, half like, oh my god, this is really bad learned behavior right now.
Yeah. These children should not live on a warship, is what it comes down to.
Maybe, I'm starting to think we shouldn't put literal toddlers on a warship. Just a thought of mine.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of fun though, right?
It's kind of funny. It's really funny. Yeah. Let's be real.
That's what Char was thinking when he brought them up. He's like, "It'll be fun."
It'll be fun.
Quattro does finally launch, and is now utterly convinced that Rosammy is a cyber new type because he cannot shoot her down as she kind of escapes in this Nemo. Rekawa orders the gas to finally be released into the colony, and again Camille immediately feels it, and when Emma asks him like what's wrong, he like tries to describe it and can only describe it as like 1,000 awful feelings just tore through my body.
Yeah, because like and what I like, his vibes go like immediately down the fucking toilet, and then because his vibes go down the toilet, like they're so bad that they drag Emma's vibes down the toilet because she starts feeling like crap as well. At least that's what I thought that was happening there.
Yeah, until Zeta goes sicko mode.
Wait, was it? I thought it was Fa who felt not Emma.
No, because Fa does come in later, but I don't think Fa launches at the start.
No, Fa's with them, because Fa's in another Methus that apparently they got. I can only imagine they got another Methus when they restocked, because they restocked like 3 times in the last couple episodes. But we very much do see the head of a Methus.
This is very confusing because, at least in this episode, we never see the Methus do anything. We barely see
it. It might have been an
parts
animation error or something.
Yeah,
you
we
know?
barely see any parts of the Methus. We do have Fa, like, in a cut-in towards the end of this battle. But it's like she's barely in this fight, and it makes it kind of confusing to track whether or not, like, was she here the whole time? I don't fucking know.
I mean, honestly, I'll just chalk it up to an animation error then,
Yeah.
because that feels like it's an honest mistake. But anyway, yeah, like everyone's freaking out. Then we get to see Dengar again. I'm very happy Dengar's back.
Yeah.
Beautiful, wonderful, lovely.
They made one gas canister that said danger, and then the rest say Dengar.
Like they had already painted all of them, but the very last one, some guy hurriedly ran into the room. They're like, "Shit, we spelled it wrong the whole time." And that very last one they were able to fix.
I swear one of the other ones that they see says Dangerous on it.
Dangerous.
Dangerous.
Dangerous. 3 key Corona.
God. Fucking this is like the scene of this episode to me.
I am making Italian chef face at my screen. Every individual frame of this fight is incredible.
Oh man. When that fucking Hyzak comes up behind the Zeta and like hits it with the axe and just fucking he no-sells it, turns around and just chops it in half. It's so good.
It is so sick. It like explodes from the inside out. Like Camille is like starting to like fully give into his rage right now. It is so good.
Yeah. Like he's so mad that like a simple Hyzak is just whoop in half immediately. Mm-hmm. There's so many lines on the screen. This is the Ace Attorney time.
Yeah, this is like the 80s Sakuga that we love.
Yeah, because like fucking like Rekoa is there and like he's just trying to get to her because she's like, what the fuck has she done? Oh my god.
Yeah. And this is like the battle of ideologies now between the two.
Like they have this fucking raw ass confrontation. And Rekoa is so like she's mean. She's evil Rekoa now.
Yeah. Like, cause like, Camille's like, what? He's like, I can never forgive you now that you're destroying entire colonies. And she just fires back, once you die, you won't be able to forgive anybody, boy.
Yeah, get his ass.
In the dub, she specifically says, right, little boy?
In the sub,
it's really cool.
In the sub, you do hear her clearly say "boy" in English. It fucking rules.
It's really sick.
Camille boy.
Camille boy.
Yeah, and just like because there's like flashes happening around them, and like they're all reflecting in Camille's visor, and it looks really cool.
It's really cool. Wow, cool robot. Wow, cool animation. I loved it.
Also, wow, cool Rosammy, because she just appears, obviously, at some point.
She's there. She's fine. She's there.
Because she's here. She's got to be here.
Yeah, even in Robot, she has to clutch to Camille. But while holding on to Zeta's leg, like, totally fucking just takes out a Hyzak. No problem.
Yeah, Camille's like, oh shit, she can do that? Damn, okay.
Yeah, she's just like, her focus is completely on cuddling Camille's leg, obviously, and she's just like, oh, pew, 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 it kills. No, and everyone's like, huh, did she just...
She can do that?
Did she just... Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? What?
After she dives in and grabs Camille and takes him out of the action, Char starts facing off with Rekoa this time. And it's once again ideology clash.
Yeah.
It is.
Char does come in and no remorse is just like, I won't even bother to ask you why.
Yeah, he's just like so kind of deadpan, like, should I ask why? And she just kind of like spits at him, just like typical, and they have a fucking sick fight. It's cool.
Their little exchange is just so good because, like, she's like, you're always like this. You always insist on looking down on everyone. And then Char's like, is that your reason? In that case, let me be the one to put an end to your troubles. And then don't think for a moment that the world around. Don't think for a moment the world revolves around you, Char. And it's just like,
yes, the venom in that line.
This is watching two exes go at each other in the fucking like campus food court. It's great.
I'm just Michael Jackson popcorn.gif right now. It's so good.
Yeah. This is like, I was like, oh, Char's gonna kill her at the end of this episode.
I knew it wouldn't have happened this one because it wasn't signposted enough for a Gundam character, but like I feel like it'll be Char who does it.
Yeah, this is why I thought that Char was going to be. Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll find out.
We got some more mileage out of this art, out of Rekoa.
Okay,
so
yeah, we got
we'll
some
see
time.
where
they got some more bullshit to squeeze out of this girl boss.
Yeah,
this toothpaste tube of content.
Yeah,
and we cut over to Camila has like taken Rosammy inside the colony. So I guess he's gonna try and like see what the damage is, maybe.
Yeah.
And this is where I start doing fucking taxidermy fox face, because like they land and get out of the robots. Camila's like, okay, like the air is full of toxic gas. Like, Rosammy, do not take your help. Can you understand this? Please do not take. And it's like she just starts like she runs up to like a random fucking dead child's body and is like, oh, Shinta, cool, you have to wake up. And it's just like, oh Jesus fucking Christ.
God, it's like.
Yeah, and eventually, Camille can't get her to understand what a dead kid is, and eventually has to leave her because two Isaacs have followed them in here. And while Rosammy has a breakdown trying to, understand the concept of death, Camille just goes fucking apeshit.
Camille is like Broly legendary Super Saiyan right now. He's like, how dare you kill these people like this? And he like, oh my god, this is so sick.
It's really sick.
It's really sick.
Yeah,
wow, cool trauma.
Yeah, but then Rosammy's MK Ultra training finally activates.
Yep.
As it turns out, fellas, don't you hate it when the Zeta Gundam is tearing the sky down?
Yeah.
That feel when the Zeta Gundam is going to make the sky fall and activates your MK Ultra training.
Yeah.
She's a real Chicken Little right now.
Emma comes into the rescue, and fucking confirms that she's a cyber new type. Everything is going bad, but
just like the fucking like the moment of like calm, kind of when like Camille lands, having just like destroyed these two Isaacs, and he's just like breathing hard, and he's kind of like having a one, and he's like, all right. Rosammy, like, are you? And just kind of like looks up to see her just like pointing a gun at him.
Yeah, she's like
fuck you.
Listen,
you're
here,
my enemy now.
She's like, listen here, young man. I'm whispering directly into your ear. My name is Lieutenant Rosammy Biden. I'm going to kill you now.
Oh. Yeah, she says my orders are to destroy Zeta Gundam and terminate its pilot. She's cool, Rosammy now.
She put on her sunglasses. She's the cooler Rosammy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the cooler Rosammy.
Cooler Rosammy theory.
And like the order come out, everyone has to kill Rosamia because she's confirmed cyber new type. Everyone knows it now. And now Camille is like, wait, no, don't kill her. It's happening again.
Wait,
folks.
no, don't kill her. She's so sexy. Except no, because like, but like fucking for the rest. And like, to spoil, I guess, the third episode, from now till the rest of it, he is like, Rosamia, I'm your brother. And I'm like, no, you're fucking not. Like, Rosamia's fucking, I guess, mind control trick has worked. Because, like, for the last 2.5 episodes of just, like, being called her brother, he's now, like, guess I'm her brother now. Sort of. Not literally, but like emotionally speaking.
He's playing in the space.
I think
he is playing in the space.
I think what
Travis did it.
Is we'll get to it when they have their weird little conversation next episode where he like compares her to 4. I think it's like him like now not being able to like shy away from the fact that she's a cyber new type, like considering her like family because of this like new type connection that they clearly have. And that's why he's like now fully accepting like, no, that like I have to take care of this person, I have to save them, etc., etc.
Yeah. He has no choice but to play in the space.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like this is where like Emma comes in and is shooting her, and he's like, don't, and Emma is like, well, obviously I'm gonna shoot her, like she's a cyber new type, shoot, pew pew pew. And yeah, he fucking hates to see it.
He does. He hasn't, Rekoa eventually gets the order to retreat as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then he just like, Camille has a breakdown. You hate to see it.
Yeah.
And also, actually, speaking of Rekoa, like, Char cannot, like, hit her. Like, emotionally speaking, like, his body is just kind of not allowing him to shoot Rekoa. Just a little Char interesting tidbit.
Probably nothing.
Uh-huh. And yeah, they have some breakdowns.
Yeah. Camille has a nice yell.
It's a very nice yell.
That's him yelling.
But
episode.
come on,
Yeah.
it's a bit louder than that. Give me another bit more. Okay, that's better.
Listen, we had a much better yell last episode.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to yell about this week. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, but the thing I want to say about Camille and Char's kind of parallel breakdowns, because like Camille is fully yelling, Char is just really quiet, but they're both in like the same defeated looking pose in their respective cockpits, just like with the opposite affects. I just think it's interesting and neat.
Yeah, there's a degree to, like, it's nice to see like Char kind of in repose at this moment, because it, like, I feel like a thing that kind of makes that Char Requa fight not really sing as well as it could is you get the feeling that both of them immediately like slip into roles that they're now playing again, that like they've always put so many like boundaries between their actual emotions and like what they're doing, that it's like, okay, cool, I know what this is, we're two people who know each other, now we're gonna fight, and we're just gonna be assholes to each other instead of ever possibly thinking about the actual emotions inside of ourselves.
Who could have seen this coming?
Yeah.
Well, Matt.
Speaking of things that are coming.
Hey! Jesus Christ, Sarah. Episode 42, Goodbye, Rosammy. So...
See ya, Space Rosammy.
So, Granada is evacuating in fear of Grips 2. The Argama has resupplied and reunited with the Radish to attack the Titan's fleet around Side 2. We get some ideological argument about new types versus cyber new types and human evolution before we cut to the Titan's fleet. As it turns out, Rosammy has the new toy, the Bound Dock. We love to see it, as well as a new cyber new type friend, Gates Kappa. Both the Titans and Ayug launch, and a massive battle breaks out as Ayug tries to prevent the Titans from planting more 3G Corona gas. Camille and Rosammy encounter each other again, and Camille tries and begins to succeed in snapping her out of the cyber new type brainwashing. They land inside the colony, and they have some nice moments together as they build up their cyber new type bond, but eventually Gates finds her. He curls her vibes to the breaking point, so she fully returns to bad brain mode. They fight. Eventually, the Titans escape. Camille starts to break down yet again, remembering his bond with 4, because it's happening all over again. I warned you, bro. And finally, Grips 2 is moving ever closer to Granada and basks victory. The end. It's like, this is a really hard summary to make, because it's like, this episode's all over the place.
Yeah, it's just things that have happened are continuing to happen and happening again. And there's a fucking other blonde guy.
There's a new platinum blonde friend, Bill Gates Kappa.
Yeah.
They're just shaking him out of the fucking tube.
Paris Hilton voice. Actually, can I have 5 more of these little blonde bitches?
Literally.
We get a fun little like narrator montage at the beginning of this.
Yeah.
Of, you know, they're evacuating the moon. We get the Argama and the Radish. The Moom. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I keep saying Quattro and I keep saying Moon. We all know it's the Moom, and
we
Char
all make
is there.
mistakes.
Yeah, nobody's perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, Emma and Camille go to ask the doctor about Rosammy's tests, and when they walk in the door, Quattro and Fa are already there, and the doctor's like, I don't remember this becoming a lounge.
Yeah,
And
can you please get out of my room?
Yeah.
Whenever, like, Emma opens the door to the doctor's office, she says, "Oh my," which is exactly what I would also say if I opened a door to see Quattro Brigina in full Quattro Brigina outfit, just kind of lunging there seductively.
What do we have here?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's just chilling in the doctor's house because they're like, please, doctor, you have to tell us what the fuck the deal with cyber new types is.
Yeah. The doctor tells them that he found trace muscle enhancers in excessive amounts of let me try to say this big fucking word. Metallothionein in her blood.
Out.
Which
I mean, why bother? He just says a long word.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. Char's immediately like, oh, the anti-radiation drug. And I looked up what metallothionein is. So metallothioneins also conveniently abbreviated to MT. MTs are an amino protein that are, you know, really commonly found in your kidneys and liver because they have a thiol branch that makes it really easy for them to bond with toxic heavy metals. so your parts are like they're in a lot of different genes, but also they're a big part of the way that your body keeps itself from being poisoned by nasty things like cadmium or whatever.
And soup.
Yeah. And then the kite bit is a reference to kite proteins that are named kite proteins because of they look like a kite, apparently, like they're and they're a particular kind of amino acid that is apparently really integral to like genome maintenance and gene expression and chromosome segregation, like during mitosis and that kind of stuff. So the only thing that by putting those two words together, like the only thing that I can really think of that they're trying to say is that like they're basically doing like super chemo on people to like alter their genetic code to make them cyber new types. That basically, I guess it's kind of like left up into the air on whether or not like, when Rosammy originally said, "Oh, I have enhanced lungs," whether that meant that they like put some new lungs in her, or like, if she has like a fucking cyber skeleton or whatever. And it seems like this is kind of pointing towards like this is mostly being done through like tampering with their genetic code and probably a large amount of hypnosis.
She also has an adamantium skeleton, not unlike Wolverine.
And cool claws. Don't forget about the cool claws.
Very cool claws.
Yeah, you could tell in the previous episodes because the boat she's in sinks so much deeper.
Yeah. Thank you, Colin. That was very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a wonderful episode of Mobile Suit Breakdown I just listened to. With the bats. Sorry, I mean,
That's all for now. From the
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have this kind of explanation from the doctor, which like fucking Camille's reaction is to say the line, "But what gives doctors the right to do as they please with someone's body or with someone else's body?" Which I think ties into the end of the scene actually.
Yeah.
And just, they sort of, he's like, well, if they're artificially made, then like they're not real new types. And then we kind of get into this whole thing of kind of like artificial versus evolution, nature versus kind of manufactured new types and stuff.
It's ideology to me.
Yeah, I've gone on the Discord. I've spoken at length about this before when people have been like, I really don't understand what they're trying to say about new types in early UC. And I think because like the big whole thing with like Camille is he's really focusing on the fact that like these are doctors experimenting on humans. And if you just soup a human up, it's not really making them a new type. And like Quattro immediately agrees that if it doesn't happen naturally, it's not true. Or it's not a true new type because like in Char's opinion, like a new type isn't just like a person with expanded consciousness. It's a person who like has this expanded like experience and history of being from like going out into space and becoming a better person, et cetera, et cetera. It's not just the psychic new type powers that make you a new type, et cetera, et cetera. And I think the ironic thing about this is that they are doing to Camille basically the same thing that they kind of put Amuro through in Mobile Suit Gundam, and that they kind of hint at being more of a less of a subtextual thing and more of a textual thing in the movie trilogy, where it's like just because they aren't pumping Camille full of weird chemicals and flashing lights in his eyes or whatever doesn't mean that they're not like artificially like making him a stronger new type by constantly throwing him into battle and constantly throwing him into danger and that kind of thing, which might be themes. It might be themes that you can't just like speed run, like getting ideology and becoming a better person. Like you have to let culture and people like naturally grow. And I think that's a fun little nugget.
Well, I mean, fucking literally as he's leaving, Quattro at the end of the scene says something along the lines of, okay, but like we don't have time to wait for people to change and evolve naturally. Earth is fucking dying.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
guess that his kind of a method of throwing Camille constantly into battle in order to develop his new type powers is kind of fucking direct action.
Yeah.
It's fucking praxis
the-
to torture a child.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, like the thing that I like to keep in mind at this, as you know, and especially as you continue to like watch more and more Gundam, is that we're going to continually see like conflicts break out over and over again. And like, we're going to continually see like, oh, it's 7 years later, Char's back. Didn't really learn much. It seems like getting pumped full of new type juice isn't really helping him as much as he thinks it is.
It's a lot. It's just a whole lot to take in, like the very beginning of the episode. That's kind of like, yeah. That's like the main conversation they have in the doctor's office here.
Yeah.
They all leave, and like, so this is the line we mentioned earlier with the doctor, because like I think Emma's the last one in the room, and Dr. Hassan says to her like, "I'll give you an examination. Lift your shirt up," and he like has a stethoscope out. She's like, "What the fuck?"
The thing that makes me think that this is not like it is supposed to be a joke that's like, oh yeah, Emma thinks he's being a creep, like da 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 da. But the thing that like also like I think it's just a bad joke is because when she like refuses and runs off, it's not like he does the whole, oh, I got caught. It's he looks at his stethoscope, breathes on it, and checks the temperature, because I guess like the punchline is supposed to be that he thinks, oh, I'm just a doctor that's desensitized to seeing titty all day, I guess, and is more like, oh, she doesn't want an exam because the stethoscope is going to be cold.
Okay.
The other thing that is possibly more noticeable in the dub is that when because the doctor's like, oh, Emma, you're like looking a little peaky or something, and she's like, oh, you think so? Like she does like a funny lisp to sort of kind of indicate that yeah, she is a little bit off, I don't know, or something like that.
Sure, interesting.
I don't know, this arc sucks.
Because
that's what it boils down to. I think.
At the end of the day, it fucking sucks because like Emma has been put in this position where she is just kind of so used to just like all the men on the Argama creeping on her that just like obviously that's going to be her first assumption that the doctor is trying to be a creeper. So
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Girl boss!
Girl boss! Hashtag girl boss!
It's just what women have to put up with in the workplace environment of the Argama. What's the next scene?
Women do believe that. The next scene is a kind of short little one where Bright and Char are talking, and I think Hankins there too.
Yeah.
Talking about like if they take down Grips 2, Aig will be like recognized throughout the galaxy as solar system as heroes.
Yeah. That they basically have to do it to save Side 2, otherwise everybody's going to be like, they're fucking garbage trash and nobody's going to trust them anymore.
Right, yeah. And Char's like, I can pilot, and Bright's like, well, after you're showing at Dakar, like I'd rather not keep you as after your clownery on national television, I'd rather not use you as a pilot anymore. Basically saying it's like, you're more of like a figurehead now. I don't want to like lose. I don't want to lose you in like a chess move or whatever.
Yeah, we can't let future President Char Aznavour get shot down in combat. Like
future President Char Aznavour,
and like he just kind of flippantly is just like, oh well, you know me better than that, Captain. And just leaves to pilot.
Yeah.
Which I do like is like a sort of a vague callback to like when they were good against each other in the 1 Year War, and he's just like, well, you couldn't kill me, could you? Bye.
See ya.
Which I do think is neat. I do want to mention, before this scene, there is like a little scene of like Fa and Camille in the corridor, and Fa is like kind of it's happening again, like she said about Rekko in the last episode, where she's like, hey Camille, like are you okay to fight Rosammy? And he's just like nah mate, and just like he clearly feels very, very strongly about cyber new types. He has like this huge emotional reaction just all about like consent and control of people. He has the line about they are human beings, you cannot program them, whenever Fa is like, yeah, but she's programmed to fight. It's a lot scene. It's very emotional.
It's a lot.
To me.
Yeah. It's definitely like, even though like Camille's like, oh, becoming a cyber new type doesn't just make you a new type, but still it feels like that he feels like he has more kinship with these people than he does with anybody else. And like, that's probably why he feels so betrayed that they exist to begin with, and he wants to help them. Like,
yeah. This shit fucked up, says Camille.
Shit fucked up. That's a direct quote. Yeah, and then we cut over. We see a new friend.
Yeah. A big
Rosammy is
dollop boy.
training. Rosammy is training in a mobile suit with an incredibly fat ass. It's a mobile armor. We don't see it yet.
Yeah, we simply see the ass flying around right now.
Yeah.
She's flying around a big ass known as the Bound Dock.
Yeah.
Very,
Bound
very
Dock
good.
by Kanye West.
Very good, Sarah. Love that content. We hear from this kind of like, he's like some like scientist handler guy all in one.
The technician.
Yeah.
He talks about how it has a Psychomu in it. So it's like, made for new types to fuck around in.
Yeah, it's a juice robot.
This robot got some juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rosammy's like talking about how she's going to use it to destroy the Argama and like rescuing Camille, and like the tech is immediately like, wow, she's she's way too close to that Zeta pilot. We got to fix that.
Yeah, because she's specific. She's like, oh, my brother, and the technician's like, what? Oh fuck, we did too much hypnosis.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Beautiful blonde Garma walks in. Mr. Gates is here.
Gates? Kappa!
In the dub, he kind of sounds, his voice is like a little bit Dante Basco on it. It's like, it doesn't sound like Dante Basco, but it's got that same like, kind of timbre. I don't know how to describe it. Like the Zuko voice.
Yeah, like it's got like kind of the
just
same
like
timbre.
rough.
I get where you're coming at, yeah.
And I just immediately liked him because of this.
He's fine.
Yeah. I like his design. He's a bastard man that we barely get to see do anything, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's just mainly my reaction to him coming on screen was another fucking blonde guy.
Yeah.
You're introducing a cyber new type to us with 8 episodes left in the series, so how important can he be?
Yeah.
Well, is he actually a new type? I feel like he's just kind of like, because like he talks like we get an explanation for how the Psychomu works again, how it uses brainwaves so it doesn't get affected by Minovsky particles. And it seems like Gates is kind of the commander for this team and is like definitely having the tech like put Rosammy through her paces, but also like he talks about how he specifically wants to test out the Bond Dock on its own, and I kind of got the feeling it's because he's not a cyber new type and he wants to make sure that the mobile suit performs well regardless of whether or not it's a psychic thing or not.
Yeah, because he comes in and he says, Mom says it's my turn on Bond 2, like Kanye West.
On the X-Bond?
The X-Bond. Okay.
X-Doc? X-Docs?
Abon Doc.
Yeah.
Okay. They also say, new types, stand users confirmed.
Yeah.
Yep. They have a way of like linking up with each other. They're drawn
Like,
towards each other like Earth's gravity.
Literally says it.
Yeah, Bask is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He tells the new type lab guy to keep testing, and also, the Alexandria calls in sick. They say that they have engine trouble and they can't make it. And so Bask like confirms with his aide that it's most likely because the Alexandria's captain objected to these new round of gas attacks, and so like fuck it, whatever. That's the Alexandria's problem now. I'm gonna fuck off back to Grips too.
Yeah. Oh, but before I fuck off, I'll just leave Rosammy behind. It's fine. She can stay.
Yeah. She and Gates take off in their bound docks, and Rosammy is like the very, very dark navy and pink, and Gates is just like gray on lighter gray.
So I know we've described them as asses, which will make sense later in the context of the episode, but currently they look like these kind of almost cute little whales, like a cartoon drawing of a whale. That's what they look like.
It looks like a half of an avocado, like upside down.
Yeah.
It's that shape, almost exactly.
I can't look at them and not think of like a weird 60s like steam iron.
It looks very much like an iron.
Yeah.
We'll see it in its full glory soon enough.
Yeah, they will develop.
Yeah.
The bound dock will get some character development. Yeah. Yes.
Also, Gates's bound dock has like a cool little backward side seat that the technician gets to hang out in.
To tag along.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think because he's like driving it, he's like, "Oh, this is hard to drive with 2 people."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's silly. But yeah, they take off with their squadron, and we're cutting over to the Argama where everyone's taking off, and like Camille is in Zeta. And out of the cockpit, he looks and he sees the kids like sadly staring into the hangar from a window.
Yeah, they're so sad.
Yeah,
they're so sad
because Rosammy is gone. They had such fun together.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, like she's just as much their older sister now, and like, you know, sends him a little message being like, hey, he's gonna bring Rosammy back. It's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be fine.
He'll play along with it. Everyone launches, like everyone is doing this fight right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Katz is here.
We see Katz. I forget that Katz is here.
Yeah, Katz does
I didn't
nothing in
even
this episode.
notice.
We just see a cut-in of him. He
He's
doesn't
just
even
there.
say
That's
a word.
probably why I didn't notice Katz was here.
You see him for like half a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did notice that Fa was piloting, because I've got in my notes, Fa is piloting, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
You know, remember Fa from Gundam?
Yeah, I
Oh, yeah.
definitely get the feeling that they forgot that Fa wasn't supposed to pilot anymore in the script, which is fine.
Yes!
But also I feel like
yes.
maybe they forgot they blew the Methus up, and they never explained where they got a second one, and it's just, but Fa's here. I'm glad Fa's here.
I forgot they blew the methods up as well.
Yeah.
There's also, like, there's a bit, like, with the mayor of Granada, and he's, like, really, really scared and stuff.
It's not Granada. It's the Side 2 mayor, isn't it?
Well, I don't know this. I literally have no idea.
It's the Side 2 guy, because he's the same guy from before, but this time he's like, we're gonna fight back, because we can't surrender, because they're gonna fucking kill us anyway.
Yeah.
He learned his lesson.
He learned his lesson.
Yeah.
Too little, too late. Don't care about this old bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, the Titans get ready to fight the Argama while they're deploying more of the G3 gas. Emma obliterates a couple of Hyzacs.
It's so sick.
The theme mobile suits is back. I love this song so much.
It's just like a really, really cool, really big battle. Animation out the ass.
Yeah.
If I was gonna say, eventually, like, Camille and Rosammy do, like, sense each other. There's, like, a cool kind of, like, you know when the new type soup shit happens and they go either, like, red or blue? But, like, this time, they both go, like, white.
Yeah, we go to the Take On Me zone.
Yeah.
Rotoscope Gundam.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, yeah, they're in the Take On Me zone, and Rosammy is like, oh no, my brother has been captured and forced to pilot the Zeta Gundam.
Ugh.
Yeah. She even starts telling herself that, like, the Zeta Gundam made the sky fall, and that's what crushed her little brother, mother, and father. So it's like, oh, she's deep in it.
Uh-oh.
Immediately before that, because Camille is like, annoys my chance. She's like, Rosammy, like, come back to the, because he describes the Argama as the white ship instead of as the Argama.
Yeah.
So he has this, he's like, Rosammy, come back with me. And it's just kind of like that. She's like, oh yeah, yes, brother, I will come back with you. And then,
Gates is hiding out in a rock, and the text says that Rosammy's brainwaves are weakening, which is wild. Okay.
Yeah,
because
and he's...
the control panel of the bound dock just goes absolutely funky with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the bound dock is, like, glowing.
Yeah.
And, like, the soundtrack is absolutely funky with it. There's just, like, wild noises and just like, every single different shape and color on every single control panel of the bound dock, and it's just absolutely fucking wild to me.
It's a rave.
It is a rave.
And she, like, shoots Camille, but misses and, like, blows a hole in the colony. And this is Colony 13.
Yeah.
He basically, like, takes her into the colony and, like, tries to sort of talk her down from all of this. And, like, we basically, like, pretty much just cut right to, like, them stepping out of their mobile suits and, like, having a calm conversation on a lake.
Yeah. And there are horses here, which we don't love.
Yeah, I really wish you wouldn't have brought that up.
It's just like abruptly they're in this calm pastoral scene, and they're back simply having a nice chat. They're back in Switzerland,
having a normal one.
Yeah.
Camille does whip out his pistol and starts shooting the cockpit of the Bond dock, and that freaks the fuck out of her.
I mean, look, I'm not a cyber new type. If I got out of my car and someone started shooting at my driver's seat, I would probably freak out too, Colin.
Okay, but you can't psychically control your car, and your car doesn't give you psychic feedback to turn you into a battle monster either.
You don't know it doesn't.
You don't know that.
I missed that model.
What do you know about Master Kaiba?
Yeah, Master Kaiba. And like, we're basically it's Camille and 4 all over again, and not in the sort of romantic way, right? It very much is like what you said, Colin, where it's like he basically is trying to use this to placate her because he knows what happens when a cyber new type goes sicko mode.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because like as they talk more, like, you know, he literally tells her about like the story of 4 basically, and yeah, and like she's like, oh, was that your girlfriend? And Camille's like, no, where our relationship was more like my relationship with you. And then she's like, oh, so she was your big sister.
Like a sister.
That thing makes it so confusing because, like, I know we do kind of like focus on Camille and Fa dating, but like other than a couple moments here or there, it does kind of feel like the show kind of forces that on those two characters. Whereas I think you can pretty explicitly say that like Camille and 4 were a couple. Like,
absolutely.
Which is just weird that he would say, no, she wasn't my girlfriend. And it, but also like,
I know what he's getting at is in like, no, they weren't like an official couple, blah blah blah. He never fucking asked her out. But this like he does, so it makes sense why he would be like, no, she wasn't really my girlfriend, because like she wasn't really. But whenever he then is like, yes, I guess she was kind of like my sister, I'm like, bitch, you fucking kissed.
Yeah.
I think it's that he's putting it in terms that Rosammy understands right now.
And also probably
that is true.
Like, you know, I think the thing that is like starting to play out is like, yes, he did absolutely like fall in love with 4, but also like the thing that is important to him about 4 is the incredible connection that they were able to have and how like she was able to understand him, and like that's what he wants to continue to have with other people. That's what he wants to have with Rosammy, is not necessarily like the romantic part about it, but the fact that they are both new types, the fact that they can understand each other on a level that other people can't. I guess that's what he's kind of trying to get at here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, just kind of like, you know, the scene continues with like Rosammy is having like a nice, like she gets up and kind of runs around a bit and is having a nice time in the Swiss Alps of Switzerland.
Yeah,
having a good time with it
in the Space Alps.
In the Space Alps, the Spalps.
Yeah, unfortunately, they are in space, and there is a G3 canister locked onto this colony that's kind of possibly going to just simply explode into it.
Yeah.
And,
Char pops up here, and he's able to, like, defeat the Hyzax and get the G3 gas out of there. And then he looks over, and he sees the hole in Colony 13, he's like, shit.
Yeah.
And he has to, like, fly in to try and rescue Meneva Yabi, Princess.
Yeah.
He heads in, he rushes into the old mansion, breaks the door down, and finds one of Minerva's like handmaids just dead on the ground.
Lamia.
Yeah.
Lamia.
Lamia.
Yeah.
And Snake Lady.
And Lamia tells him, she's like, oh, please, Char, like, Haman took Minerva and ran away. Please, Char, you have to go save the princess. She's still such a sweet little girl. She didn't choose to be born into the Zabi family. Please promise me you'll go save her, Char Estamel. That's what she says in that voice, and then she dies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Almost exactly.
Yeah, which seems like, you know, I guess there are people that know that Char killed most of the Zabi family now. But it's probably like this was probably like Char's like man on the inside keeping track of Minerva.
Right.
Like when he was back there. Like that's, you know.
I actually felt like it just because it doesn't really seem that much like, oh, she knew that Char was the person to kill like 50% of all Zabis. It just seems like that she is, you know, shares his sympathies, like, you know, is also of the opinion that, like, you know, she's a sweet girl and the Zabis may suck, but,
yeah, I guess they were there to see them be Hitler, so
like,
that
it doesn't necessarily mean that, yeah. And, you know, having seen Char's speech, she would have known his opinions on the Zabi family.
Right. Yeah. And like at this point, he sort of feels Camille's presence and goes to chase after him this time. And we cut over to Camille and Rosammy again, and like Gates' bound dock has shown up at this point. And it's like he basically from that bound dock, the technician can basically amplify Rosammy's brainwaves and like make her go sicko mode from it. Like manually.
They just kind of shoot like a in the direction of Rosammy. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah,
you got it in one.
They hit her with the blue waves first, and that makes her just go to sleep.
That's like the placate button.
Yeah.
It's a
They
tranquilizer.
did turn her off and on again. Simple.
Exactly. That's the reset button.
Yeah.
And like Quattro sort of shows up, or sorry, Char shows up and like is trying to stop them, and he like trashes the other bound dock a little bit, but like then it puts out red waves, and that's like just fully curdles Rosamia's vibes completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she starts putting out her own red waves, which, remote pilots the bound dock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It gets leggy, it stands up, and it becomes a whole ass boy.
Oh my god, the bound dock is so sick looking.
It's like,
Hey, wow, cool robot.
yeah.
Wow, cool robot.
Wow, cool robot. Like, it's so asymmetrical and weird looking, but like it totally makes sense in the way that kind of like the torso comes up out of the booty and then turns, because it's just stored like perpendicularly inside of there.
The body is stored in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been saying it for years.
Exactly.
So,
I'm gonna
like,
tuck myself into my dump truck ass like a turtle.
Like, I thought this robot was only legs for, like, a wee while, because, like, the shitty grey one, like, stands up with its legs, but it doesn't, I don't know if it has a torso, if it just doesn't get its torso out. So I was like, oh my god, the robot has legs as well. And, like, didn't expect there to be a torso, because, like, part of me was like, oh, who needs torsos in space, So I just thought that, like, we had a sort of a Big Zam kind of situation going on here, and I was very excited. And then I was even more excited when the rest of the robot appeared.
It's so sick. I love the bound dock so much.
Also, the red juice has just completely rewritten Rosamy's brain because she does not remember Camille at all. And says it's ridiculous when he tries to say that he's her brother. And she immediately tries to crush him with the bomb dock and says, just because you're a child, I'm not going to save your life.
Because Camille isn't Max, he jumps out of the way of the giant girl foot that's coming to stomp on him.
Oh yeah, you fucking... Oh, yo, shit, I just remembered I didn't retweet Weed Lord Vegeta's Twitter post. I'll do that right now. Keep talking. I don't know why talking about getting crushed by a giant feet reminds me of a horny post. Who could say?
But yeah, like, he jumps out of the way, he's doing sick flips. And god, this robot fucking shreds. Like, Camille is so small, and she's just coming after him in the bound dock. This just, I love this robot.
I love this robot so much. It looks like a bug with a fat ass.
Yeah, and like, two perfect things.
Two perfect things.
Three perfect things, because robot is a perfect thing.
Exactly.
And just, it's so, like, sticky and clinky. It's got these cool ears. It's pink and red. There's a girl inside it. Everything you could ever want.
Just beautiful. Wonderful. 10 out of 10. And can I say, Sarah, maybe, like, 4th or 5th coolest robot by the end of Zeta.
What? What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
We got a lot of good ones coming up.
There's only 8 more episodes!
Oh, yeah. Okay. What happens? Like, they're fighting it.
Yeah, like, Camille gets in Zeta, and he's like, got her in his sights, but like, he just can't shoot her. He will not shoot her. And
something
like,
newtype
she
bombs.
is about to fucking like kill him. She's like on top of him and stuff. Like, but Yakushiki saves him. They end up escaping into space, where the rest of the million pilots of the Argama are. And they run away.
Yeah, that's
into
like
space. They escape. It's
a really weird resolution for this conflict.
Yeah,
it just kind of like stuff happens in Gundam, right? A lot of times we'll cut to the end of the conflict when we know it's going to end, but for this, it just happens to be the end. It's like I feel like there's a scene or two that we could have gotten in between of them like running off the rest of the Titans or something, but no, it just sort of ends. It just pops away.
It really feels like they didn't actually have this many episodes written and like got told by fucking Sunrise or whatever, it's like, hey, like, I know you have 46 written, but we need you to do 50 or something. And so they had to stretch out a bunch of the shit with grips and a bunch of other stuff to like make this part of the show work. It definitely feels like they're heavily stretching out a lot of this Rosamy stuff.
yeah because like it is like, it's good content, but it doesn't need to happen 3 times.
Exactly. I got it. I understood it the first time, I think. You know?
Yeah. And then the episode ends with like a narration because like this was Basque's trick and it was all a distraction to keep the mobile suits away from. I know Grips is going to go and fucking kill Granada or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, kill like one of the seats of power of Ayug. Get their ass.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I mean, they have the ass. They've got the bone dog.
They have the ass, and they're gonna. Oh my god. Yes, episode. But like before we move on to a segment, like the preview, we do see another fucking cool robot.
I think I must have missed this one because I don't know. I don't know what you guys. I did see. You know, I saw Char looking very intently at a Widow go, and I was like, oh, I'm excited to see that.
Zombies gonna be back next episode.
Yeah,
but yeah, I didn't see any robots to speak of.
Listen, it is in there for like a half a second before we then see like Char talking to Maneva, but like. We are gonna get one of the sickest mobile suits next episode. It is God.
Like. Colin, you describe it as Space Pope.
Yeah, it's a Space Pope.
Which is, I think, the most apt way to describe it possible. It's just, God, the show really is just Wow Cool Robot.
Okay.
Okay, love this show. Gundam's good again. I've decided it. Y'all want to hear about a voice actor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today we're doing Beyond Toon World.
You're going to love this. Trust me. Beyond Toon World!
As is tradition, whenever it's my turn for a segment, because I often can't think of a good enough one, and also Colin speaks better about the name I won't pronounce than I could. So today we're going to talk about the voice actor for one Basque Ohm, name of Daisuke Gori, originally born Yoshio Nagahori. He was born February 8th, 1952 in Tokyo, and he died January 17th, 2010 in Tokyo. Rest in peace. So he has his roles aren't as like funny or as like an own onto the character as a lot of the other ones, but he has a really, really weird wheelhouse nonetheless. So he was in Mobile Suit Gundam, the original, as Dozelzabi.
Oh.
So he plays like the big evil dudes a lot. He was like 4 or 5 different dudes in Fist of the North Star. Of course, he was Basque in Zeta. In Dragon Ball, he was a lot of characters, both Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT. He was Master Roshi's Turtle. He was the Ox King. He was Captain Yellow, Drum and Cymbal. He was Mr. Satan, which is his main sort of Dragon Ball role. King Yema, King Cold. And he was Shenron and Black Smoke Shenron in GT. So he's a big Dragon Ball guy. I love to see it, personally. He was Ovlesser in Legend of Galactic Heroes. Heihachi Mishima in Tekken. He was in like all of the games until he died, which is like, you know, Dad of the Year award right there. Really rivals Gozaburo Kaiba for how much you could possibly hate your son. He was Andros, Pigma, and General Pepper in Star Fox 64.
Hell yeah.
He was cutting a little more present. In Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, he's some guy named Kumazo Maeda. Don't know who that is, but
we'll find out.
Love to see a fellow Yu-Gi-Oh! Character pop up here. And he doesn't have like the biggest list of roles here, but he has a lot of crazy Japanese dub of roles he's done, including Vigo the Carpathian from Ghostbusters 2.
Okay.
The Iron Giant from The Iron Giant.
All right.
He was in like a billion different Disney movies. He was Baloo from The Jungle Book. He was the sort of Cobra Bubbles, like the CIA agent, or the I guess like CPS agent in Lilo and Stitch. He was fucking Makuta from the Bionicle movies, like the main bad guy, which is just really, really funny to me.
Oh, love that there's a Bionicle dub in Japanese.
I know. I watched that movie so much as I was a kid. He was Bruce the Shark in Finding Nemo. You know, like Nemo's from Gundam.
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell, he's been like the original Japanese voice of Yosemite Sam, like the Hanna-Barbera cartoon character.
Hell yeah.
Like, he's good at it. He's good at, I guess, being like a really deep, intimidating voice, and also like the bear from the Jungle Book. So
just all these characters are simply large.
They're simply large. That's the thing. I love when you can find that sort of through line. Like, some characters' through line is Steve Carell, and some characters' through line is just big.
Speaking of big and large characters, he's one of my favorite characters in Redline. He's Gory Rider.
That was one that popped up quite a bit. And again, when I pick characters for these characters,
Yeah.
I do, or for these voice actors, I do roles that, like, I know and that, like, are, like, from largely popular anime that I feel like I've heard of a couple times.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm certain there's roles that I've missed that are from beloved animes that, you know, I haven't seen and I wouldn't know about. So it's my show, baby. We're just living in it.
True.
I was actually looking. So I think, was it Four's voice actress, Colin, who was one of the Dirty Pair
Yes,
characters?
yeah.
Rekua's voice actress is the other Dirty Pair.
Oh my god. I need to rewatch Dirty Pair.
Just gonna leave you with that one. Love to see a Dirty Pair. Yeah. That's it. That's the Sego today. Again, I don't like. Well, I like doing research, but I often can't find a fun topic. But I think we have 3 more episodes, so I'll have another segment at some point.
I think we have one more Sego each.
Yes.
Better think of
So
something.
at this point, we're going to do 3 episodes next week, 3 episodes a week after that, and then we will just be doing the 2 final Zeta episodes because I'm pretty sure, since it's the finale, we're going to have enough to talk about from just those 2 that we can pad out some time, I reckon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like, we need to fucking pad out time.
Yeah, exactly right. An hour, 55 minutes into recording. And then for our wrap up, we'll be full of carbs, and that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or should I say carb buzz?
Carb. Yeah.
Caraba bonito.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
We did it, folks.
Excellent.
Well, I'm glad that we sort of not salvaged, because these episodes weren't bad per se, but I'm glad that we found some fun way to talk about these just like bland ass episodes. Except for the Bound Doc. Bound Doc's great. We love it.
Yeah.
That's not a bland ass. That's an ass full of robot.
Amen.
Yeah.
Plugs time, I reckon. I'm Max. I don't know why I can't think right now. I'm just thinking about Bound Doc. I'm Max. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, everywhere else at MaxyBajillion. You can go to twitter.com/podofgreedcast to find a podcast that Sarah and I do called Pod of Greed, among many others. We have friends working the show with us. It's not our show. It's everyone's show. I don't know why I'm saying it like it's Sarah's and mine. We're literally, the week this episode goes up, we will have started watching GX, which I am very excited about. Very, very good. Back to school, baby. And you can go to slappersonlypod.com or twitter.com/slappersonlypod to find another podcast I do called Slappers Only. We recently recorded an episode on all the karaoke songs from the Yakuza series in celebration of Yakuza Like a Dragon coming out in 2 days as of this recording. I'm very excited. It's gamer
I'm so
season.
excited to hear that episode of Slappers Only.
Can I say, Sarah? We did 9 songs instead of 6.
Ooh.
You deserved it.
Oh, so
We deserved it, exactly.
You know, when they called in and asked if you wanted extra time, you said yes?
Yeah. Get that good karaoke humor going. I love it.
Yeah, cool. You can find me on the internet everywhere at Sarah McCostumes, SARAHMCC Costumes. Twitter, Instagram, I also do as well. A Pod of Greed. I did a former podcast called Never Believe It, which is a Naruto D-Watch podcast in which we watch Naruto filler and go off on one. That's all for my plugs. I do have one later, but Colin.
Hey, yeah, my name's Colin. You can find me online at Padgettish. That's PADGETTISH. I am out of the election hell world, so that means that I can be public
free.
again. Yeah, free and clear. Also, go check out my other podcast, Meta Watch, where we watch Metabots. It's great. It's a great fun time. It's a good goof 'em up. I still don't understand how we make an hour-and-a-half podcast about 2 episodes of a child's television show, but we do.
It's a really good podcast, folks.
Thank you. Yeah.
And if you want to find this show and many others, this show is on twitter.com/wowcoolpodcast, and many others would be at noisepace.xyz, a podcast network made by our good friend Matt GameCube. You can find this show, you can find the Yu-Gi-Oh! Show aforementioned, you can find many, many others. Special Great Snacks is a brand new show that just came out about Jujutsu Kaisen, which is an anime, I am being told. Check it out. Check out all the shows there. Thank you, podcast.
Thanks, podcast.
Thanks, podcast. Sarah.
Yes.
I believe you prepared for this one.
I am.
I dare ask, What is your robot of the week?
My robot of the week is my knitting machine, which I have just gotten back from the knitting machine doctor. It has been fixed. It can finally do pattern knitting. It can finally do jacquard programmable punch card knitting. So I am ready to possibly launch a line of knitwear at my website, sarahmcclintock.com, which I believe by the time this episode comes out, I may have bothered sorting out the shop there. So you can go in there, check out some products that I will be knitting with my new robot of the week, my knitting machine. Mwah. You love to make and sell products.
That's really cool. I'm glad that it got a sort of clean bill of health from the knitting machine doctor. Do you check its blood to see if it had sort of like trace drugs in it?
Fuck.
Sarah, I'm afraid that you might have a cyber new type knitting machine, in which case you have to be very, very careful with it.
Sorry, you mean a cyber knit type?
Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Oh God, that was pretty good. That was like a really, really harsh reaction you gave me. I'm glad it hit me hard like that. Did you want to say something, Colin, before I take us to the close?
No, I was just gonna keep going with the bit, but it's cyber knit type is a better place to end it on.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I beheaded the bit
Sarah pushes out of the space
with the bazooka.
Bazooka.
There we go, new bit.
As we say in the words of Sarah's cyber knit type machine, war is bad.
Wow. This is a nice
Big ass.